gentlemen, welcome back to the Tuesday night Parramatta Leagues Club Talking Parra live show. Well, how much better does this feel after a win, eh? It's obviously been a tough start to the year going 0-4, but picking up that win against the Dragons on Saturday and against Clint Gutherson-led Dragons, and he certainly led them, felt fucking fantastic. Before we get into it, obviously, thanks to our major sponsor, as I said, Parra Leagues Club, thinking of other sponsors, Riverside Brewing Co., Time for a Chat, TMS Trophies, Tony Mustafa, Mortgage Choice, Tate Sports Card, Non-Stop Landscapes, BMA Trucking, Spot on Hose and Fittings, Eurowork, Ext Advisory. We got there in the end. Look, it's a full house tonight. It's absolutely massive, but this Parramatta's #1 podcast. So, of course, we've got to go extreme after a win. So, look, I'll welcome everyone first of all, then we'll get fucking stuck into it. Matt, welcome. How are you traveling? You've obviously got your screen face on screen today. It's always, it's kind of nice to see you.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's been good. Good after a win. So, a lot happier mood this week. So,
You're bouncing, you're glowing. Some may say you're glowing. Hayden, always a big win for you, getting the win over the missus. How was that on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, great day Saturday afternoon. Can't wait to get into it later, but want to welcome everyone to Talking Parra and the Seven Dwarfs tonight.
Hey.
It's the smallest one here, bro. It's one of the tallest, but you're still the smallest. Like, I'm quietly confident.
It's just a saying of seven. What else can you say? There's no seven. It's just a little moment, but
shout out to our little listeners. I believe those little people. Shout out to those little people. We don't discriminate against you like Hayden just did, of course. Troy, actually, we'll come back to you, Troy. We'll come to the end.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Benny, how you traveling, mate? Welcome back.
Mate, good. I don't know if you boys follow Brown Cardigan, but did you see the story they posted of old mate with the ripped Parra jersey walking with the "We Are the Champions"? His mate of mine runs that Instagram account. Does anyone know where I can get my hands on that jersey with the abs sticking out? Because I think I'm going to have to pick one up for certain occasions, like the very rare wins that we expect to see this year.
Yeah, these big wins, these solo wins. No, mate, going as good as your last game. We're on a roll. It's only upwards from here. Jack, how you travelling up there in Queensland, mate? You're finally on the same time as us?
Yeah, not going to lie. I got ready at 7:15 like I usually do for this podcast and then sat here for an hour twiddling my thumbs. So we got there in the end. Good, mate. Good. Feels good to finally get that win. Happy to do it in front of a house full of Dragons fans, which made it all the more sweeter when Mr. Lomax flowed that field goal. So I'm liking the positive vibes tonight. It's a bit different to what I'm used to these last few weeks with you boys.
Yeah, 100%. It is. And now, obviously, there's no delay. I'm expecting no delay in your responses. So if you got them ready to go, that'd be fantastic. Jason, mate, before you head off to Darwin, how you feeling?
Woo! Bit of Ric Flair flower. Yeah, good, man. Yeah, I can't wait. Got to make the most of the wins. I think I whispered to somebody the other day at the game, you got to make the most of them because it could be a few rather than many. Yeah. So, up the win, up Parra.
Speaking of making the most of something, Troy, this is your intervention. Obviously, Jason was kind enough to take you into the field club on Saturday to experience the game, and you certainly fucking made the most of it. Like, did you have a hangover? Can you actually talk yet? Because you were stumbling your words and almost falling over. Some would use the word pest, not me. To be fair, he actually did knock back an extra drink when my mother got him a drink, but he drank it anyway. He's like a fish in water. He's got a drink. How you feeling? Have you got any public apologies to make or anything? Or anyone?
No, mate, I'm fine. Fighting fit, mate. Fighting fit. Look, my day on Saturday was completely thrown all around. I didn't have a proper game day breakfast. I was thrown into hosting the game day preview podcast at short notice. Then I was a bit parched handing out all the Clint Gutherson voucher pamphlets. A huge shout out to Scott Mangold as well. He did a great job handing them out. Absolutely handed out 1,000. But no, when I thought about it, I thought, well, you know.
He's still fucking waffling, eh? Like, let's just give him a little bit. Nothing changed. We didn't want your life fucking story, mate. We've got a podcast to get on with, all right? So just keep it short and keep it sweet next time. We won't have to cut you off again. All right, before we obviously get into the podcast side of things, as you know, we do a giveaway every week thanks to Parra Leagues. I'm just trying to find the right thing. $150 Leagues Club voucher. Now, I know I shouldn't have to say this, but the reason it jackpot is I do have to say it. You have to physically use this voucher in the Leagues Club, okay? There's a Leagues Club voucher. I thought that was pretty self-explanatory, but apparently not. So this is jackpot $150. All you have to do is share it. Share this podcast, sorry. Once you've shared the podcast, once again, write shared. We'll draw it out at the end. So Maddie's going to literally star everyone that shares it, and then we'll get onto that. So do that. We'll do it one more time, and towards the end, you've got to be here to claim it. You get 30 seconds here to claim it. It'll be $200 next week. So good luck, everyone. Matt, you're all over that. Let's get on, eh? Huge win. Well, it wasn't a massive win, but it was a massive win in the context. Down 20-8. It's been building against the Bulldogs and Manly. I thought we showed something defensively. We've obviously been a lot better. I want to start off and say, and I never want to blame referees. And I guess you're not really blaming a referee because we won, but I thought 2 of their tries shouldn't have been tries off a couple of terrible referee calls. One was a clear knock on where he put his whistle to his mouth and then didn't blow the actual knock on. The second one was the tackle over the sideline in the corner in the first half. They scored off both of them. So I don't think we actually ever deserved to be down 20-8. I thought at 8-all, we're pretty much in that grind and doing everything pretty well, and the opportunities were going to come. I guess to show a bit to get back into that through sticking to our systems and not playing panic football, which is easy to do for a desperate team, was a real, character test to the team out there. They really showed a lot of it and what they want, how bad they wanted to win, and they got it. Obviously, Zach Lomax was huge. We'll get to our player of the match later, but let's get around. We'll start with you, Jack, watching that game with a house full of some George fans. Your thoughts on the game?
I'd say for about 82 minutes, I was shitting bricks. I was getting absolutely fed by all the boys I was watching it with. I think I had a near heart attack when I saw Iongi throw the ball out first tackle after a good set of D. But it was really good to see us being down by, we're down 12 with about 20 to go to really fight back there, get back into the game, and ultimately win it. It was a real good show of the character that Riles has been building for the past 4 or 5 weeks. I was really impressed with everything. Obviously happy to get the W as well.
Yeah, for sure, Benny. You were pretty happy with that win, first win of the season.
Very happy. I was still, I'm going to be honest, I was still pretty disappointed that 10 minutes into the second half, it took us 3 tackles to get back on side on an attacking set. I think whatever the fitness regime there needs to be upped a little bit. But I tell you what, Iongi, besides that rogue pass that he threw on that line break, he's pretty fucking exciting. Little flashes of kind of 09 Fletty Mateo and Christian Inu in there, he's just hands out catching the ball. He's a very athletic and very, very, I think he's very raw. So he still needs to be harnessed a little bit, but he's very exciting to have back there. I'm pretty excited to have him going forward as the number 1.
Touch footy vibes. You've nailed it. He's got that touch footy vibes about him, doesn't he? And you see that the kind of way when he has to, when the line comes staggered, he obviously sprints back from fullback and tries to bust through, but he's always looking for that gap to pop through. And it's not happening perfectly yet, but it's coming. I'm just waiting for him to make that big line break where the lazy defender doesn't quite, shuffle across and fill that gap, and all of a sudden he's there through that gate. Jace, I'm pretty sure I saw tears in your eyes when we got that win with some St. George fans next year. That might have been after putting up with Troy's drunkenness for a couple of hours, but how was that win for you?
And we've looked at him.
We have?
I can hear Adam.
I can hear Adam. I can see Adam.
There we go.
We've lost Matt, apparently. Everyone else could see and hear me. I'm not fucking John Cena. All right.
What a win. What a win. Make the most of it. I think I had an extra 3 meat pies with relish to celebrate. It was absolutely fucking great. I literally had as many fucking CCs as I could before the bar closed. And I went to the club, with you guys and sobered up a bit because admittedly I think I had a few too many. I needed a burger and chips, but look, it's just one of those things that like you're just on the edge of your seat, nail biting stuff. You get the win. It's such a relief. My mates didn't even stay; they left early. It was just one of those great wins, and I hope we have many more of those.
So do I. It'll be great. Matt, thoughts?
Yeah, exciting, nail biting at the end there. I thought we were going to stuff it up, and then when Lomax went down holding his foot, I even was like, "Uh-oh, who's going to kick it now?" It was either Lomax or Guppo. It was set up that way. It was. Yeah, I'm lost for words because we actually got a win, and sitting in the sun for an hour and a half was way worth it.
I said that at 20-8. At 20-8, when we started show a bit of fight, and you could tell we were going to come back. I said, this game's coming down to Gutho or Lomax kicking this winner. Like, whether it's a field goal, whether it's a try, it's going to be one of them. And obviously, Jace and Troy were there. Troy probably doesn't remember, but the bloke in front, he mouthed off, and he goes to Zach Lomax right in front of us. And Zach would have heard him. I thought you come to Parra to win, Zach. I thought you come to Parra to win. How's that going for you? Mate, the fucking early crow. You never early crow, because I'm not kidding. Probably 3 seconds, if not less, after that field goal went over, I've jumped up, I've celebrated, and I've leant forward. I said, "Oh, looks like he did come to win, bro." And look, that was better. He shook my hand. He laughed after sinking into his chair a little bit more. And his mate, I don't know who he thought was just giving it to him, but it was a great experience. Hayden?
Well, in the words of once our coach, now bottled water king, Brad Arthur, the effort was there because everyone just did their individual job, whether it was Riley Smith with the charge down, Zach Lomax with the field goal, Isaiah Iongi with that amazing pass out to Addo Carr. Such a good win, as you said, Adam, from 28 down. It felt like it was building towards it. It felt like cinema. It felt like a script, and you're watching the script unfold with all these Gutho Lomax moments throughout it.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's everyone's thoughts on the game. The other guy doesn't remember the game, so we won't go to him. No, come on, Troy. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, well, look, I think everyone's probably mentioned everyone who had a starring role, but I thought Dylan Walker did pretty well in his debut for the club.
Solid. Strong.
Yeah. Look, he added
Yep.
made Dylan Brown a little bit better.
Like it feels Saturday. Yep.
Yeah.
I think
Junior was massive as well. There was so many good players.
He certainly did a great tackle on David Clemmer. It was
Clemmer
Junior,
didn't I?
Yeah,
Clemmer walked off after that, right in front of him.
Gold.
I said,
But no, it was good. I mean, I thought at 20-8, they probably could have thrown the towel in like we know that they have, but they showed a bit of resilience and came back, and it was good. I mean, I didn't think he was going to kick that field, the goal from 45 meters out. That was a fair kick, but yeah, it was good to see Zach Lomax get the win for the club.
I thought he was going to kick it because I was screaming at him. I was screaming at him, take the two.
Well, Riles even said in the press conference before he could say take the two, Zach was already running in, telling him he was going to kick it. So
yeah,
it's a piece. I know pressure's a funny thing, but it was a piece of piss kick. Like it's literally straight in front, 45 out. It's almost in where you take kickoffs for. And we know he could easily put the ball over the post every time from a kickoff if he wanted to.
Can we also out when I went over the post?
Yeah. Can we also recognize the fact that this is a different team? This is a team coming back from 20 points to 8. This is a team that didn't give up in defense. This is a team that kept going. This is a team that showed us that they can win in a golden point. Like, when is the last time Parra did that? In 2022. So, as much as there's a lot of improvement, 100%, and that's the best win. The best win is when you can say, you know what, we did well, but there's so much more to go. That is one of the best wins, and you can tell this is a different side. So, if anyone was worried, stop being worried, please.
Yeah, I agree. Well said, Jason. Well said. Now, we'll get on to the player of the match I just brought up, but we just kept talking. Not you, Jason. I was just talking up and everything. You actually summarised it well. This was very heavily debated. Now, I did not vote for Isaiah Iongi. He obviously had a fantastic game, but that butchered pass, I'm still having flashbacks to because I thought it was all over then for sure. But I voted for Junior Paulo. But obviously, we combinedly voted and Isaiah Iongi come on top. Like, I thought Junior was fucking huge, like 180 metres. All we had to do was acknowledge him. Is that right, Matt? And 100. But it was his defence as well. He led the line in defence. Like he played like 73 minutes or something like that. It was massive.
He almost scored the first try too. He almost got the first try of the game. He was goddamn close. The Dragons defenders just were able to drag him back, but was reaching out for the line. He was wanting it. He was hungry.
Yeah, that's true. Well, is he your player of the match, Hayden?
He was. Junior Paulo was my man of the match. As I said, there was plenty of individual plays from players. Isaiah Yongi for the pass and his stats. You could argue Lomax for what he did, Riley as well. But Junior Paulo, it's one of his best games in an Eels jersey. Maybe not the best ever, but in a very long time. Like you said, Jason, maybe
About
even
2 weeks ago.
since that 2022 form. Massive game from him. He's my man of the match.
Yeah. Troy, your man of the match. So you want to cut off Hayden quite rudely?
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Well, it was Junior's best game since 2 weeks ago against the Bulldogs. But, look, Isaiah, I think, deserved it. He obviously made that mistake by throwing the ball out, but redeemed himself. So just the sheer side of him throwing that ball out to Addo Carr, I mean, that was a good sight from him and something that we can look forward to in the future. And he's only, 6 games into his career.
Yeah, I agree. Penny?
Yeah, for me, it was Iongi, and I know everyone keeps bringing up that pass, but for me, like I would much prefer that, especially with where we're at right now. Start throwing the fucking ball around. Like let's get a bit of life into the team. I mean, it's kind of the opposite of like what I would have liked Dean Hawkins to do. Dean Hawkins had an opportunity there where he could have had a shot at goal in Golden Point, and he chose to kind of run at the line and put that little chip in. It was just his hesitation first, conservative first. Mate, throw the ball around. I mean, just 09 Parra is the glory days, and that's throwing the ball around. Like it's backyard footy then, so good to see it come back.
Agree. Yep. Jack?
Yeah, definitely. I think Paulo was a close second, but I just think Iongi had those game-breaking moments. He just pushing through that try, he scored the setup for Addo Carr. I also think it was Dylan Brown's best game. I think the fact that Dylan Walker in the middle gave him opportunity to work out wide, which gave Iongi all those opportunities to try and sneak through. But yeah, I'm going to give it to Iongi for this one. Close by. I really enjoyed watching Big Junior have a crack.
You're right. Like obviously he played him wider, but as soon as Dylan Walker come on, our attack changed. And the reason our attack changed is because of what I said last week, and had a bit of a conversation with Sam Moore about it after the game as well. Obviously he's Parramatta's defensive coach, but just a general assistant coach as well. And with Dylan Walker coming on, we finally played straight. Like both Brown, Iongi, and Hawkins have been so sideways the last however long Hawkins has been in there, the last 2-3 weeks. To have Walker come on and just play perfectly straight, it set the tone for everyone else, and it gave the edges actually room to perform and score those tries where they did. And it brought people into the game like Sean Lane, who we'll talk about later. But Sean Lane actually getting the ball because all of a sudden they weren't up in his face where they had to throw him a hospital pass and he would have got whacked and dropped it as he can do. Little things like Walker coming. Walker was fucking huge. It's a great signing. I've seen 50 minutes of him play, and it was a huge signing already. He ran for massive meters. He ball played well. It's going to be really hard. I know Hopgood's minutes were down. He started at hooker, and I love Hopgood, but we know I see Hopgood as a better front rower in the modern game. It's going to be very hard to keep Dylan Walker not at 13 in the weeks to come if he keeps playing like that. Jason, your thoughts on your man of the match?
Yeah, I mean, look, to be honest with you, Iongi for me was basically because he was the best and also the best on stats. But you could have given it to Iongi, Junior, Riley Smith.
Riles, man.
Give it to Riles.
I think you have to come up with a coaching plan.
Lomax, those guys all had killer games. Dylan Walker even Dylan Brown had a good game. And honourable mentions, Sean Lane did his job. Sean Russell did his job. He made some important tackles and was actually quite pivotal in making sure that the sliding was working and the defense was working. Like so many people played well. Even Kickat had a great game, awesome game. Like everyone, like even if they didn't play amazingly, everyone had a good game. So I just hope we can always play like that. But I think for me the standout was Iongi. Just overall, he did everything. He ticked all the boxes and he had all the stats to back it up.
You're right about Sean Russell. It's kind of like Bailey like last year. Bailey on the wing. We spoke about Bailey on the wing and Bailey on the centre. I spoke to Russell after the game and he said he feels much more comfortable in the centres, like a lot more comfortable in the centres. And it showed. Like his confidence was there. He played better. He's actually got a decent pass on him as well, which helps. Obviously, with Addo Carr outside of him, and Penasini, obviously, we know is much more comfortable on the right. So that change. Look, I didn't think that change would come with Lomax to Origin time. I thought we'd get to Origin time. Lomax gets picked for Origin. Someone comes in and does a job in the centres, whether it be Russell, Bailey, or whoever. Penasini changes side, and all of a sudden they go, right, Lomax has to go back on the wing. But the fact it's happened now, like, gives me a lot more confidence. Like, we look so much better in our back line, so much more comfortable. Matt, your player of the match?
Yeah, I went Iongi, but close mention. I think Dylan Walker in his first match for the Eels was huge. I think he's going to act more like that Isaiah Yeo kind of role where it's the connection between the two halves, which is good for us and it's what we needed for a while. But yeah, Iongi for me, just purely every week he's getting better. So besides that little error, but it just showed he didn't go into his show after the error as well. He kept trying and kept moving forward. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Let's move on to the Euro Work top performers list. And no surprise, Iongi topped the runs with 23 and 222 meters and the tackle break. So massive standout performance when you look at it for the stats. Obviously, Junior Paul, as we said, leading that forwards 190 meters. I think I come out last week and said our forwards are never going to run for nearly 200 meters anymore with the way we use our backs out of trouble. And he's gone pretty close to 200 meters, but it was a massive stint, 73 minutes. Like, obviously, his fitness levels are getting up there. We said with Williams dropping out, someone had to step up. It looked like Offa did the week before. Let's say Junior played bad the week before, then Junior has this week. And someone like young Sam Tuivasa is just getting more minutes and getting better and better. I know all the boys around the club really, really rate him as well. Lomax has set 180 meters. The tries to Josh Hadakar, Kia Tony. I've given up. I'm going to start calling him Kit Kat as well. I fucking love it, Jace. Like, means I don't have to try and pronounce his name. I'm fucking all for it. Only with the other try. Sean Lane, 40 tackles. Riley Smith, 38. Dylan Brown, 28. Tackle breaks, obviously there. Dylan Brown, 3. Look, the thing I want to point out here is Dylan Brown. Obviously, Sean Lane, we've been pretty critical of Sean Lane. I'll get to that later. But Sean Lane, obviously, has been great defensively. We've never denied that in the last couple of weeks. But Dylan Brown, 19 runs, 28 tackles, 3 tackle breaks, and 164 meters. Dylan Brown wanted to play football, ladies and gentlemen. There's obviously been a lot around this week. The Knights want to get him early. I don't blame him the way their season's going. A couple of easy games at the start of the year. They thought they were going to win the comp again, as they usually do. And they've been smashed back-to-back weeks, and I fucking love that. But, the thing is, Dylan Brown, I heard all week. Look, I'm going to give a shout-out to another podcast, not that podcast, another one, Cumberland Throw, because Craig actually said in our SGA group, he's been at training. He said, Dylan looks on this week. He's up. He's about. Like, he seems happy. And we had an SGA meeting, and a couple of people said that as well. He seems ready to go. Like, and he was. Like, you could see he come in with a smile, didn't he, Matt, when he got there for the first time in a while? Like when he walked
it's the first time I've seen him walk in this year, bouncing on his toes and smiling. And yeah, he was. You just knew as soon as he walked in that door that we were going to get the old Dylan Brown back a bit.
Do you think that might have been a little bit because he was playing against Gutho?
I don't think so.
No, I just think maybe during the week he got a good talk to, and I think he's finally realized, holy shit, this is, you know what I mean? Like,
I'll say what I think it is. I think Josh Papali'i playing 5'8" New South Wales Cup had a massive effect on Dylan Brown's performance. But having Dylan Walker there and I guess a little bit less, obviously they would have trained with how they're going to use Walker during the week, a little less responsibility on Dylan Brown to stand up and have to do everything, I think was massive for him as well. But maybe he's just gone to himself, you know what? I've done the right fucking thing. Like, stop being mopey. Like, I don't want to be mopey anymore. I've done what every single one of us sitting here talking would have done. I've taken an opportunity for more money elsewhere because we all know we do it. Sorry, job security, of course, and future, but, and money. Like, don't forget the money. He's done what every single one of us would have done. So I think he's just got on with it and just gone, you know what? It's done. Let's just concentrate on fucking enjoying footy this year. There's no pressure on him to win a comp. No one expects Parramatta to win a comp. So just come out and enjoy yourself. Like, that's one thing I wanted to point out in the hard workers thing there.
It's like Reed as well. Reed had already signed, and then we made a grand final that year. But
you saying we're going to make a grand final?
No, I'm just saying.
Well,
just saying.
Well,
just throwing it out there. Jace has already gone and brought tickets. So.
Jace, make sure you get me one, mate. I'm there.
Yeah, no worries. Where do you want to sit, man?
He's good.
Let's just sit on the bench with
No, Jace had to get the air conditioning corporate box.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty melt anywhere else. It's going to be October. It's going to be hot again. He'll fucking melt in the grand final.
Ooh.
As he calls them, pleb tickets. He doesn't say that. Oh, guys, I'm just joking. He actually doesn't say that. Let's get on to our Riverside Brewing Co. Defender of the Week, and I'll talk after that. I've just got to find it. And he's Sean Lane, 40 tackles, 93 success rate, 85 minutes. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story about Sean Lane. First of all, defensively, he was brought in the team, as we said, to defend his ass off and fix up those edges, which he has done. We haven't leaked points through the edges. But yeah, Matt, I forgot to tell you, you're in charge of bringing that shit up. I keep forgetting about it. So, Sean Lane, who, to be fair, Sean Lane's always been fantastic with the fans, and all the boys went around all the crowd. I was standing with one of my mates who's obviously mates with Sean Lane, knows the connections, and Laney comes over, and Brad goes to him, everyone loves you today, mate. You're very popular. No, sorry, look at you, look how popular. And he goes, oh, yeah, everyone loves me today. Isn't it funny? And I said, mate, well, you had a good game. I said, people are going to appreciate when you have a good game. I said, I'm not saying you played bad. I'm saying they used you correctly, you know? And he looked at my hat, looked me up and down and goes, yeah, thanks, mate. So, Sean Lane, if you're listening, or if this gets back to you, you did fucking well. Just keep it up. Like, obviously, we know you struggled with your fitness. You know, you missed a lot of preseason due to a couple of injuries and stuff, but they've found your role now. Like, they've found a way to bring you back in. When Dylan Brown turns up, Sean Lane turns up is how it seems. They're both so critical for each other. Defensively, like I see, has been great, but attack, I still think we need a little bit more. Like, we still need to use him and have him running a little bit harder inside the own 20 when those opportunities come. But I thought he was huge. I won't go around everyone here because, as I said, we've got a massive panel on board and we will run out of time. But I'll go to you first, Troy. Your thoughts, obviously, on the defensive side of things on the weekend?
Oh, well, it was better, wasn't it? Despite that first
fucking
try,
won,
go straight up the middle. But yeah, look, it was better. So you can see there's obviously that massive improvement happening. So it's obviously for the better. I just want to say one thing quickly: the short dropouts. Can we get rid of them?
Why?
Get rid of them.
The referee made the wrong.
They statistically work. 1 out of 3.
No. Just kick it long. I'm sick of
referee
it.
Dean Hawkins is kicking it.
The referee made the wrong call. Can I just highlight the referee made the wrong call? And this is a shit rule. Okay. The rule is it's a genuine attempt, I believe, at a short dropout. Now, that went 20 meters and went out in the full.
Genuine attempt to contest.
Well, yeah, but the bloke can shank it. Like, if you're,
So,
he genuinely
who was it? Was it Lomax that was running up the sideline?
Yeah,
So if that was a bit lower, that's a bit lower. He catches it.
Lomax is running there.
Kick it long.
They
Just
can't
kick it long.
No, it was the wrong call. It was the wrong call.
It was a terrible call. It was an absolute bludger of a call. And obviously, they took the 2 to go ahead. But I don't see why we wouldn't go back with the ball there, Troy. You're silly. Jack, your thoughts defensively on the weekend?
No.
I was really happy with it. I always thought Brown and Lane defensively are a good combo. They always have been. It's the attack side that they've missed. Our ruck looked a little bit shaky. A couple tries. Gutho through there. He got 2. One off a quick play of the ball. But I think addition of Addo Carr's really helping. You can see the talk that's happening. Russell looks way more comfortable on that edge. You're noticing that there's not as many points being scored down that edge anymore. And I think once we get to full strength with Moses on the other side, they can really marshal that right-hand side of the defense. And it's really going to just glue things up a bit, I think is the words I'm going to use.
You're confident in the comments, Troy. And I'm all
mate, don't get me started on that, bludger.
Now he's calling out fans of the podcast. Honestly, you mustn't have had a drink for 3 days. You're starting to get aggressive. All right, let's go back and move on. But I want to quickly mention a couple of things again. We obviously got an event coming up. As I said, it was a Riverside Brewing defensive player of the match. We've got an event coming up at Riverside Brewing Co. on Easter Monday. The event will be from 12 till 2:30. So we'll share that event. We're going to do a bit more publicity for it soon. But we've got a signed jersey to give away, carton of beer, just a lucky door prize. We've got a grazing board, pizzas. Come along, have a good time, hang out with the boys. We'll be doing a live podcast from there, hopefully, if we can sort that shit out. Sorry, if Matt can sort that shit out. And it'll be a wonderful day. So wait and see what we can do. Have a look at the event. I'll share it soon. Hoping to see heaps of yous out there. Once again, I'll mention we are giving away this $150 voucher tonight to Parra Leagues. Once again, I will say you have to use that Parra Leagues. All you have to do is share the podcast. Once you've shared it, comment shared. Towards the end, we're going to draw out a winner. You have to be here. You got 30 seconds to claim. If not, we'll go to $200 next week. All right, moving on. That's pretty much the game. So that's our first win, which is fantastic. Our 3-2-1, our fan 3-2-1, I believe, went 3 to Iongi, 2 to Lomax, and 1 to Paulo. Honourable mentions went to Riley Smith and Dylan Brown and Dylan Walker. Received a lot of messages about them, even though I didn't include 2 of them in the poll. Leaderboard, Lomax hits the lead now with 7 points, Williams with 5, Smith 4, Iongi 3, Paulo 3, and obviously there's a list below that. I think often Gowie's on 3. There's quite a few on it now. So it's a ZMS Trophies Talking Parra Fan Player of the Year. Who's your Smokey? Who do you reckon's going to win that, Jace?
Look, for me, I think Iongi's going to do it. he's just all honestly, Iongi greater than Gutho, 100%. He's already hitting Gutho's numbers, and he's 10 years behind.
Yeah,
if he just polishes some decision making, he God knows how good this kid could be. Like he's going to be our best player, and he's going to be amazing. And I hope we hold on to him.
And give us your Smokey Player of the Year, Fan Player of the Year.
Look, I agree with Jace, but knowing the fans, they love to pick try scorers, even if they have shit defense. Not saying he does. So I'll say my Smokey's Josh Addo-Carr. He turns into Sevo, lets 3 tries in, scores 3. Josh Addo-Carr comes up the ranks and people pick him. Not that I'd pick it, but I think Iongi would probably be my pick personally.
Interesting, because he hasn't actually polled a vote yet. So you pick someone that hasn't polled one vote to come out of nowhere like Randy Orton and just take the shit out. So I love it. I'm all for it. All right, let's move on to some of the news from the week. Firstly, we'll start with this one because I had a good chat with the bloke and sending our love and prayers to him. Arthur even suffers his second ACL tear. Arthur obviously debuted in Parramatta 2023 and looked like he was going to be a big chance of obviously playing a fair bit of first grade last year before tearing I believe it was his right ACL last year. He's now torn his left ACL, so he'll be out for the season. He's not actually contracted for Parramatta Plus this year, so not sure what the club's going to do. Obviously, if they stick with him. Matt, you obviously seen a lot of Arthur. He's someone we've watched coming through. First of all, like disappointing player-wise, but mentally-wise as well to do those 2 injuries 2 years in a row and miss 2 years of footy. Like, how do you feel about this all?
Yeah, I'm a massive fan, as you know. Watched him since he got here. He's always been. He was like, I tipped him a couple of years ago to make his debut. He was killing it at fullback. Poor kid. I spoke to him a bit as well. But yeah, it's rough. But then obviously he'll have good support around him. The club will help. Hopefully, we give him another crack and give him a contract because. How many, we've had a few players that's had multiple and we've stuck by them. So I don't see why.
Hayes is an example. And
yeah, exactly.
I mean, like a fair way, but Jacob Loco, even Gutho, Gutho did his second ACL and we stuck by him and look what happened there. So,
yeah. So hopefully we give him another contract and hopefully he gets back out on the field and absolutely rips it up like we've seen him do coming through.
Yeah, for sure. Benny, I'm going to go to you for this next one. It's this photo. Hey, what does this mean to you? You're a pretty passionate bloke. Like, to see Lomax, what it meant to him, like, obviously coming from St. George, kicking that, like, obviously it's a range of emotions. And, like, I saw some fans crying in the stands. You honestly thought that we would have fucking won the grand final. Like, I know people have been taking the pictures, only beat St. George, their shit as well. But, like, what does this photo mean to you as a diehard Parramatta fan?
Look, it's such a swift turnaround, the result, like as we just spoke about, the whole entire team's performance on the weekend compared to all the rounds leading up to it. Like it's such a 180 on where everyone was at. Like I'm assuming every Parra fan that's probably listening in right now and all of us here, we were resigned to the fact that let's just look for the silver lining here and the player development and getting Moses back and this and that and the other. But what we saw like on the weekend, honestly, if we were to go on a run and make the grand final, that's the start of the championship DVD. That game. That's where the team, like, they galvanized in that game. They galvanized. They honestly look like a professional football team
Just
who wanted to be there.
Would you compare it to where the Mighty Ducks go play street hockey, for when the Mighty Ducks put the Ducks jersey on instead of the Team America jerseys? Is that the moment for you?
Yeah, it's definitely very similar. It honestly looked like they were all in sync. Like Dylan Walker looked like he wanted to be there. He came out guns fucking blazing. Like he looked strong. He was running the ball harder. There had to have been other players watching him run the ball, being like, Jesus Christ, like I need to pick my game up. Like it was a galvanizing game for them. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we came out this week and gave Canberra an absolute little hiding. But we actually look like a competent team. We look like everyone, and we look like everyone wanted to be there. Like we mentioned before, Dylan Brown looked like he wanted to be there, and Paulo having like a renaissance period there. It was very, very encouraging, and I'm hoping that it's not a flash in the pan, and I'm hoping it is the start of things to come, and I'm hoping that the Riles era is starting to like lay some serious foundations, and this is what we can expect as a benchmark moving forward.
Lovely. And you mentioned Dylan Walker, you're right. He come charging out. He looked incredible. He looked so fit. He must have been doing some extra cardio over in like New Zealand because he looks like he's the fittest of his career. He absolutely looked like he was going to kill it. So, like, it's funny. You mentioned like how you see these like player changes. Like I'm not going to jump ahead and say we're going to go on a run to make the grand final. There's going to be a DVD, but you've seen it in.
I will.
You will. You've already had.
Yeah, I will. Fuck it.
2009, that spark we needed was to bring Daniel Mortimer into the team, a young player who was obviously killing at reserve grade. We made the call. We shipped Finch off. Now, you talk about a player obviously going, shit, I don't know if we can say his name, but we shipped him off. He went to Melbourne, and, they got the change they needed to get into the grand final, like they didn't already have enough help. But you look at it over the years, like remember Kristen Inu, he went to the Bulldogs and then they made the grand final. Then he left the Bulldogs half, and he went to the Warriors and they made a grand final. Like shit like that. Like you look at blokes making changes throughout years and just giving a team a spark and bringing a new bit of edge. And, I guess a bit of the Warriors haven't had a terrible start to the year and he's been involved in that. So he's come across with a bit of confidence and stuff, and it's rubbed off on the team, which I love. I'm all for it.
It's like the opposite of when we signed Sandow and paid him $500,000. He kicked us one field goal.
Yeah,
800,000.
800,000. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. My favourite Chris Sandow moment was he said to the ref, what did he say to the ref down in Melbourne? We're getting beat by 40. Oh, how much they paying you? God,
Yeah.
It was a classic one-liner and it was said perfectly. Let's move on from that to the news here. And I want to congratulate all the teams, every single junior pathways team, Lisa Fiala, Tertia Gale, Harold Match, SG Ball, all playing finals. Look, I haven't had a chance to check. I know that was going up this afternoon where those teams are playing. I'll let you guys talk about it soon and obviously go from there. But SG Ball, I told you at the start of the year this team was special and they were onto something. They've gone through undefeated. They had one draw in a game that they never should have had a draw in, to be honest. I think they switched off about 2 minutes early and team scored with 12 men. But they've had an incredible run. There is some absolute talent. Most of these kids are going to go into, obviously, Jersey flag as soon as this finishes. And once that happens, we've got some stars coming through that could finish here in Cup. I'll go to you, Troy. Your thoughts on obviously the junior pathways. You've obviously heard quite a bit about how well they're going, but obviously massive, especially in the women's as well. Like our women's game's obviously been developing massively. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, it's great to see, isn't it? I mean, Parramatta is known as a development club, and to have pretty much all the teams in the finals in junior grades, it's unbelievable. I mean, I think Penrith don't even have any teams in the junior grand finals. So that just shows you how dominant they have been in their grades. So, the development is there.
It's not bad off then. Development is there. Effort is there. SG Ball play on Saturday at Sunday. Oh, fuck. Where do they play? Sunday, 11:30 at Leichhardt Oval, Sydney is what it's telling me. But it's also telling me that Harold Mats play Sunday at 1 p.m. No, it's fucked. It's all over the place. They haven't fixed it up yet. I don't know what they're doing. But I will post those games later if anyone wants to go watch it. They're absolutely all over the place. New South Wales Rugby League, fix your shit. Your thoughts, Matt? Obviously, you watch those junior teams quite closely. The good kids coming through.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see, and I'm excited to see when they actually get to the cup level later this year and what they can do there. We've seen them all come through. We saw the Arthur boys. We saw Ethan and all that come through, and now it's the next crop coming through, and hopefully we get to keep these ones and they don't get poached too much. But yeah, it's really good to see that we're actually getting on top of Penrith a bit in the junior pathways, and I think Riles, I know it was always there. We've always been up there in the juniors, but I think this new stuff that Riles is doing in the background where he's actually got them involved in first grade training and training them all together. We know in the past they've had their separate sessions and haven't been involved in ours, and it's good to see that it's actually starting to rub off. And yeah, it's exciting times ahead, and I can't wait to see these boys hit cup later this year and what they can do there.
Yeah, you're right. And I reckon there will be probably 2 or 3 of them finishing in cup. Like what you just mentioned, like Dom, for example. Dom obviously did pre-season with Parramatta. That's right. Got to meet him and obviously continue to chat with him since and some opportunities with him. And I think he's finished here. Don't quote me because there's no actual like leaderboard. I've just gone through and worked it out. But I think he might have finished the year as the leading try scorer in that competition. So he's obviously on the great things. For age of him, he's absolutely fucking massive and he hasn't filled out yet. So someone like him, you know, especially with some of the injuries we're getting, could finish the year in New South Wales Cup. You know, like young Lincoln Fletcher could finish the year there as well if we get a couple of injuries. And it'd be interesting to watch how quickly they do develop. Speaking of young juniors and young players, there's no confirmation of this yet, but people are saying they said it during the New South Wales Cup coverage. Now, we're obviously at the game, and I haven't gone back and watched that game, but all reports had a blinder, set up 2 of their tries, maybe scored 2 of their tries, something like that. Cut us to pieces is what I'm hearing. I do not want to have to say his name in the team list. Lycan King Togia. Yep, I got it once when I had to say it. When I'm rolling off saying a number 5 and a number 7. Now, Jack, you obviously said you watched this game with some George fans. You know much about this young fella?
Yeah, I've heard massive raps about him. I don't know how he's behind 2 pretty average halves at St. George.
Well, Flanagan's the coach, so that's a good example.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, nepotism. But yeah, I've heard for a while that he's been in talks with us. All the Dragons boys I know been reading it in their little pages that they have. I didn't hear anything on the broadcast about him signing deals. I watched it and didn't hear anything. But yeah, he absolutely tore our cup team to shreds. They shouldn't have gotten back to where they were in that game, and he was quite a massive part of it. And good job on pronouncing the name as well. Nailed it.
Thank you.
I think you're forgetting that you probably got up to get some water because apparently in the 36th minute, 30th second it was mentioned. So you're out of the room.
Ahmed's actually the one that commented, and he's given us the exact minutes. I'll go back and I'll find that. A couple of St. George people I've spoken to have said that apparently it's been known for quite a while that he is going to come to Parramatta. Apparently it's been done for a while. I can't get any confirmation on it. So I'm guessing maybe because I wouldn't say it's a massive signing. He could be on a development deal. We don't know what he's going to be, but I guess it's kind of watch that space and see what happens. Like, I know talking to one of my mates who's a St. George fan, he kind of had the same feeling that they don't know how he's not in first grade. I believe he was the SG Ball Player of the Year last year. Then went straight to Jersey Flegg, and now he's, you know, the 5'8" in New South Wales Cup at 19. So that's a pretty quick rise. And you think, even if he has signed for us, the way St. George are going, I know they won their grand final against Melbourne a couple of weeks ago, but there is a chance that he will obviously, you know, end up in first grade by the end of the year. So unless they do the old Parramatta, like we did with some of our young players last year and don't put him into first grade because they've signed elsewhere, you think he'd have a bit of experience when he does come to us. Hayden, you're a closet St. George fan. Do you know much about him? Any thoughts on this one?
I don't know too much about him, but I have watched a couple of New South Wales Cup games, and I think I agree with those Dragons fans where he's probably been knocking on the door of first grade for a while. I believe from memory he has made a debut. I think he's only played 2 games of first grade, though. Not too many under the belt. I think if you were Dragons, you get rid of Ilias, bring him in because I think he's much better than Ilias. But as someone was saying in the comments, sometimes he's overshadowed by other players. So he's shown that he may not have that level of consistency, although he is a good player and has had that rise. He just might not be ready for first grade coming into that squad, partnering Moses straight away, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. Chase, you obviously are much to Helen's approval. You watch New South Wales Cup. Did you see much of this young fella?
No, unfortunately I didn't. But what I did notice was that the New South Wales Cup game was very competitive. it was 8-all for a bit, and then it went to 20-all, and then I think it ended up at 28-all. Very competitive game. I think both of those Reggie sides are very strong. Ours is very strong. So yeah, I guess they're both as competitive as each other, and he's obviously killed it. I was mainly watching my man crush and seeing how he was going.
I was gonna say, did you even see anyone other than who was wearing our number 6 or what?
No, I only saw the fluoro boots, and I just followed him around.
Okay, all right.
He loves him. He wants him.
I just like when I'm having a conversation with Joe Ash after the game, and out of nowhere, Jace pops up next, and he's like, "Oh, hi, Joe Ash."
Yeah, sorry, Adam, I didn't catch it in New South Wales Cup. I was handing out flyers at the time, so
you weren't. You were drinking.
So sorry, Helen. Sorry.
Well, it's
it's okay, Helen. It's okay, Helen. I watched Reggie's, but I'm focused on Joe Ash Papali'i.
He only watched Joe Ash. All right, let's move on. I'll put this up once again. Obviously, the Eels Foundation is supporting the 50-50 charity raffle with Parramatta Leagues are powering it. So if you want to scan that code and buy some tickets, it's 50-50 raffle. How it works is 50 goes to charity, 50% goes to the fans. So obviously they draw this at the games every week. You can buy tickets in advance. So have a look at that, jump on. I love this. I've been doing this for years. Like when you go to the games at Suncorp, I think it's usually like $25,000, $26,000 up there because the fans get behind it so much. I'm yet to win one. I've tried my fucking hardest, but in saying that, I've tried my hardest to get a perfect round in a multi for quite a while, and I've failed at that for a couple of years now as well. So that's gambling. Gamble responsibly. You win some, you lose most. All right, let's get on to this week's game. I was going to do up a graphic, but I ran out of time. Busy life I live. It is our last trip to Darwin, so I'd like, a team's friendly clap for that. Thank fuck that's happened. What a terrible ride it's been. It started off so promising. It's like a new relationship. It starts off promising and goes to shit. We've all been in one of them, that's for sure. I'm not saying I'm in one of them now, of course. If my missus is watching this, please don't hurt me. But, it's what it's like. Like, everyone loved it at first. How good is this? We're taking Canberra. We're taking Penrith up there. Why the fuck we ever took Penrith up there? It does not make sense to me now. Obviously, Parramatta versus Penrith.
Crap,
I know they were crap, but it was still a local derby getting taken to Darwin. Makes no sense whatsoever. We were crap then as well. What are you talking about?
Better than them. We won.
That's saying something, yeah. But look, finally we got our way. We whinged enough last year. We carried on. The Darwin deal is no more after this year. And we carried on that much. They're taking Canberra there. So finally we're not taking a Queensland team. I know that created some massive problems for the club. They went against what Fox Sports, went against what the Darwin Northern Territory government wanted. And they said, we're taking Canberra. I think it was either Canberra or Melbourne were the options. And I think, fuck, we didn't take Melbourne after what happened in round one. Actually, that might have saved us round one, to be honest, if we took them up there. But we've taken Canberra. Great result. Ricky Stewart gets another trip to complain about because we know he will. They've been to Vegas. Now they're going to Darwin. He can't handle these kilometres. So we might get a Ricky blowout where he gets a fine. That would make the win even sweeter if we win. I want everyone to give me, if you couldn't remember, and I'm throwing this on the bus because we don't do any preparation for this podcast, I want you to give me your best memory of the Darwin game. Troy, I'll go to you because you're such a quick thinker and you're always on the ball.
Look, there's two for me. The pass from David Gower to Jared Hayne to score against Canberra in 2014 and 2018 when I went up there for the first time. It was Reid Marnie's debut game. I think Jared scored 2 tries on that occasion as well.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to say, so won't bother coming to me. But Jared actually had some great moments up there in Darwin. He's the only bloke that loved going to Darwin. He used to absolutely. I remember taking the intercept against. That must have been against Canberra. Was it against? I remember he was bringing us back in a game against Canberra, like out of nowhere. We were just absolutely fucking done and dusted, and he just went, "I'm going to put something on here," and he did. Matt, you remember much about it?
Yeah, mine's the Mitch Moses try.
I was thinking that one too.
It was going out and he kicked it back in, and Guffo runs through, and yeah, that's probably my best one.
When we beat the Broncos.
I remember that one. Yep. Aiden, you're in Darwin now, so your thoughts?
Well, I wanted to go there. I wanted to go there with Troy in relation to the Reid Marnie debut and the Hayne tries. That was such a good moment. So I'll go outside the box. It's the comeback win against Canberra in 2019, I believe it was. We were down in that game. I think it was Moses who scored the match-winning try in that game as well, and we ended up winning that one, I think 22 points to 16. Good comeback, fighting spirit in tough conditions, so I'll go that one.
What are the conditions like up there, Hayden, at the moment?
It's pretty warm at the moment. We'll see how we go on Saturday night,
Who would have thought Darwin is warm? Fuck. Groundbreaking weather report. Benny, much about Darwin? You remember much about it? Travis has mentioned BA's water.
Has anyone mentioned the 2019 come from behind win when we were down 16-0?
Yeah, just saying. Someone
just then? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The only game that I had in my mind was that got mentioned straight off the bat was Reid Marnie's first game, but and then I went back to that. So it's very serendipitous that we're playing the Raiders again this time for the last one because hopefully we belt them.
Yeah, hopefully it's not like a John Farnham last one, that's for sure. I think, Jack, you've been nodding along there, so I think yours has been taken.
Yeah, I'm going to add on to Matt's because I was going to do the little Moses kick through. But I remember there was a photo that I had as my cover photo for years, and it was after the try was scored, Gutho pointing to the spot to signal that it was a try just before the ref did. So that moment stuck in my mind ever since because I fed it to every single Broncos fan that I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, nice. Jace, you going for the last one? You head up on Thursday?
Yeah, the comeback win, but from that, my best memory is Fergo getting the double. So he puts, just before half-time, he scores one that looks like it wasn't a try, where he fell on top of Simo or something. And who was it at the time? It wasn't Simo. Obviously. It was
15
somebody.
players around him.
He fell on top of
Taka.
somebody and fell on somebody's leg, and then somehow from the leg it went down onto the ground. I remember that try, and that was like the momentum we needed to come back as well. And he got a double that day. And I think he got an intercept.
Yeah, he got an intercept.
Yeah, he got an intercept, but it wasn't counted as an intercept. It was counted as an error. And I remember writing to the NRL stats saying,
Jesus.
Coach,
Please tell me you did that from like your legal email when you wrote to us. Yeah,
this is incorrect, sir.
That's now my best memory of the games in Darwin is Jake's writing me email. Just that correction.
Karen up here like he's a proud fucking father. You got my stats wrong. My son scored this many tries and made this many line breaks.
That's an intercept. What are you talking about? Like they put it down as an error.
That's the one where Mao ran straight through Manu, just like.
That was a good game.
Literally ran across the field, nothing happening, and then bang, straight through under the post.
There was some good memories, guys. See?
Yeah.
We've
won 6 games there.
Except for
last year wasn't a good memory.
We've won more than we've lost.
The only thing about the Darwin game for me is they used it more as a vacation trip than an actual football game, and they didn't climatize properly. They'd fly in, fly out.
Feed a crocodile, go play footy, fly back.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sign some kids' shirts and stuff and all that kind of. Yeah, you're right. That's kind of what it was. But that's what it was about, I guess, growing the game in Northern Territory more than actually the performance. And the $1 million, I guess, was at a time we needed the $1 million that we got paid. So we don't need any more. We're rich.
Where are we going to go?
We'll get to that. We're going to Vegas hopefully next year, But I believe the club will look to go somewhere else. It's much easier in repackaging everything, but watch that space and wait and see. Hopefully it's Vegas next year and then the year after. Who knows? Maybe up to where Jack is, somewhere around there, maybe a bit further, maybe Rockhampton or Mackay or somewhere like that. But watch that space. Team list. Who's up for the team list? Hayden's done it. Matt's done it. Jason, you've done it. I think Benny. Benny, have you done the team list yet?
I don't even know what that is. What's that?
It's a team list.
You read the team list.
You've got to read.
We read the team list. Oh, right. Yeah. No, I haven't done it.
Well, you
want
are
to
now.
give it a crack?
Yeah, fuck, I thought it.
Rightio. So for round 6 versus the Raiders this Saturday, 12th of April. Is it? What are we? 7:30 game?
We are. I meant to put that there, but I wrote this pretty quickly because I actually beat the Parramatta Eels at putting this team list up there because I've found a loophole where you can see the team early. So I rushed it and I panicked, but I got it up. So apologies to Dan Kerr, who was Dan Kerr at first. But, yep,
You can get
Rightio.
a that too, Adam.
So at the 1, we have Isaiah Yongi. At the 2, Josh Adokar. Number 3, Will Penasini. 4, Sean Russell. 5, Zach Lomax. Dylan Brown at the 6, Dean Hawkins at the 7, Joe Offahengawi at the 8, Riley Smith at 9, Junior Paulo at 10, Sean Lane 11, Kitione Katoga at 12, Jermaine Hopgood at 13, Dylan Walker at the 14, my Italian brother Luca Moretti at the 15, Charlie Gom at the 16, Sam Tuavati at the 17, Yosh Papali at the 18, 19 Dan Keir, 20 Bailey Simonson, 21 Ronald Volkman, and at the 22 Ryan Madison, who I'm hoping comes back very soon because he is a favourite of mine.
Oh, fuck, you're lucky you missed the podcast last week then. We'd have been sitting in the corner crying. Hope your date night was better than what we spoke about him, but he apparently killed it in Cup.
He destroyed it in Cup.
He absolutely
Good to see. All
destroyed it.
it took was some podcast to call him out and expose him for being a bit of a soft cock and not trying, and all of a sudden he's having a crack. And I will say he did walk past and give me a bit of deathy when he was on the sideline of that New South Wales Cup game, but he had a go. Proved the point. Like I said, Matto, I know you won't be watching because you've got us blocked on socials, so you certainly won't be watching. But simple thing is, Matto, like every single person on this podcast knows you can offer something to the team. My brother is in the comments. I was on the podcast last week. He doesn't think you can, but he's not on the podcast tonight, so we won't worry about him. But no, but Troy is. Troy's in it. So, like, you know, I'm glad to see him back, and I hope he is playing good footy, and I hope he does get a chance to have a crack because I still think he can offer so much with versatility. Your thoughts on the team, Jace?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's no more what's the word? I guess sneakiness or anything like that. We're putting up our back line as it is. Our back line works. Penasini back on the right was so much better. As I said, Russell at left center so much better. It just you know, you don't make changes to a winning side. And looking good, except for, you know, my main man, who somewhere somehow will get snuck in eventually. But besides that, it's a good looking team list.
He means Josh Publi, guys, or Josh Publi.
He's given up on Brendan Hands.
Yeah, I know.
Brendan Hands is sick. Right? my best to Brendan. I hope he gets better soon, and I can't wait to see him back in the team. But at the moment, I got Josh.
He only needs one. Is he still sick? I'm pretty sure he's actually named in New South Wales Cup this week. Yeah, he's fine.
Seems like Maddie's sick too. Sick of everyone talking. Oh,
he's back. He's back.
Matt, your thoughts on the team?
Yeah, strong team. I think obviously it was way better. As soon as they ran out and we saw Will back on his normal side, I think it was strong as team. Best we've had. But yeah, as they said, don't change the winning team. But yeah.
What was your meal, Hayden? What did he take?
He took some nuggets. It was after a game. Was it 2023? I think it was 2023. It was after a game. I think it's a Roosters game to end the year. I went to Macca's. Matto was over there, and he accidentally went up and took my order. I believe it was a medium nugget meal, and just walked straight out with it. I went, "Hey, Matto," and then I went to tell him, and he was long gone.
So you let it go.
Do you know the funny thing is? He actually didn't pay for anything. He just walked in. There's no way he was paying for Macca's, that's for sure. We had to put his hand in his pocket. So he just walked in and took those protein nuggets.
Also, a medium nuggets meal at Macca's as an order is a diabolical order.
Oh, this is 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
This is a bloke. This is a bloke at the event down in Melbourne wouldn't eat the salt and pepper squid because it had ranch sauce. Was it ranch sauce? Yeah, aioli. Had aioli on it. He wouldn't eat it. So he only picked out the ones without aioli on them and then gave them to us. It was like taking a 5-year-old autistic kid to fucking get food. That's what it was like. Your thoughts on the team, Jack?
Yeah, strong team. Didn't expect to see any changes. I will say I do hope we can find a way to get Simo back in the squad soon. I'm a massive fan of the man, but don't fix what's not broken. Lomax and the wings looking good. Russell looks like a competent first grader in the centres, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, I read don't change your winning formula, and we won. Hey, and we actually didn't go to you because we had to hear you complaining about Nuggets. Your thoughts on the team?
Yeah, very strong team. I'm like you, Jack. I'm a big Simo fan, and I'm going to make a bit of a bold prediction here that because this team looks so good and comfortable in all spaces playing good football, I don't think we're going to see Simo for a while. I'm going to say that Simo comes back in around Origin time, gets that crack then when Lomax probably goes back to Origin. But overall, strong team, good win last week. So looking to build off it. It's going to be interesting if Josh Addo-Carr scores. Are they going to put Jordan Samrani's face on the screen again? Did anyone else see that? If I was going to read the team list, I was going to say number 2, Jordan Samrani, but you did great toolbox.
It was superb. You've had it. Betty, actually, before we do that, funny you mentioned, obviously, Bailey. I'm going to run you through this starting team for New South Wales Cup. Someone said in the comments, Twitter was a clear standout. Twitter at fullback, Hayes Dunster returns on the wing with Bailey Simons on the other wing. Araz Nanva, I'm not sure, I don't know much about him, is in the centres with Jordan Samrani. Joe Papali'i, he stays at 5'8" with Ron Volcom. Matt Dory and Tony Martelli in the front row. Brendan Hands at hooker. Kelma Talangi, Dan Kerr, Ryan Madison at lock. That's the starting team. And then, like, working through the bench, you've got Cruz, Niatila Schmidt, Wiramu Greg, Kane Kalachi, and Bryce Cartwright. It's a fucking strong team. Now, that team will not run out because obviously some of those boys are going to travel up to Darwin in our squad, whoever is named in the squad. So they won't be playing in that game, some of them, but it's a fucking strong team once again. So we've got that depth there for sure. Your thoughts on the first grade team there, Benny?
Mate, just off the back of last week, it's exciting. I think Dylan Walker's going to be a great glue guy with his veteran presence there, and the limited minutes that he's coming off the bench and running so hard. I hope they don't rush him back in too many minutes too quickly. But we won last week, so it's very similar side. So let's see if we can't do it again.
Hopefully we can. Troy?
Look, consistency is the key, so it's good to see the same side run out again. Good to see Lomax on the wing. It's probably our strongest side, obviously, without Mitchell Moses and probably maybe Bailey as well. So probably our strongest looking side, I think. Looking forward to seeing what they can do on the weekend.
All right, that was quick. That was short. This was fantastic. Guys, get your final questions in. We're going to give our bold predictions and we're going to draw our winner for the $150 voucher. And then after we've done that, we'll go to some of your questions. Bold predictions this week, boys. Obviously need a first try scorer, a scoreline, a bold prediction, and then we're going to go a water prediction as well. Let's see if Jace can keep the tradition going. It's fucking hot. He's a big guy. I reckon he's got a bit of sweat in him, that's for sure, and he's not used to going up there. So we want to know how many bottles of water Jace is going to drink. Not this Jace, Jason Rolls. He'll be on the Terps all weekend. He'll need to. It's like going to Townsville. When me and Hayden went to Townsville for the prelim final, we started drinking at about 12 o'clock, and Hayden can't drink. Just put that out there. Like we said, he's like a 12-year-old child. But to be fair, he poured him down all day with me, and he was only slightly affected because you had one drink, and by the time he finished it, you'd sweated it out. Like, it's honestly what it was like. So I think
I just want to add here, that was 3 years ago, and celebrating that win on Saturday night, I had 5 Long Island iced teas. So
we could tell. We could tell.
And you say I've got a problem.
No, I'm better with.
Were you on Sex in the City or something? Long Island iced teas.
We're not going to bag out people for drinking girly drinks. I don't, besides obviously Riverside Brewing Co., I love to drink their beer. But besides that, I usually am a vodka girly drink. I don't have a problem with Hayden drinking girly drinks. But to be fair, that day he did drink from 12 o'clock till 3 a.m. and he still managed to be able to ride a scooter home with me at 3 a.m. Even though he was a bit all over the road. But
is there any nuggets involved?
No, there wasn't any nuggets for him. That's for sure. It was a taco for me, but no nuggets for him. All right, let's get to some bold predictions. Hayden, I'll start with you.
Yeah, look, I tipped us last week. I've been tipping against us a lot this year. I like the changes that Riles has made in relation to what we saw last week. Sean, centre, Lomax, wing. I actually think we might get a win here. I've ummed and ahed about it all day because I'm someone who likes to go for the glory and pick the tip correct. So I'm going to tip Parramatta by 4. I'm going to go 22.18. My first try scorer is going to be Dylan Brown. He was let out the other day, and I think he'll continue having a good performance. And bold prediction, I don't think the Raiders will lead at all in this game. I think they're going to be shell-shocked by the weather, by the conditions, and we're just going to beat them all over the park, and the Eels lead all 80 minutes.
I hope you're writing these down, by the way. Did you give your water bottle prediction?
Jason Riles, mate, I think you do like your water, but I think you take it into consideration. I believe you are going to have 4 bottles of water, and you will finish 3 of those.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I didn't realize we have closed captions on this. If we have closed captions, that's absolutely fantastic. I don't know, I've never actually thought about that, but if we do have text come up, can we get them for Troy's life in general? Because that would be absolutely fantastic if someone can organise that for us. Every time Troy talks, his closed captions come up. I've been audible on the weekend. I'm going to give my prediction because if not, they get stolen. I agree with you, Hayden, but it is going to be hot. So I'm going to start with a water bottle. I'm going to go Jace to drink 6 water bottles because it looks like he's a bloke that still cares about his body, and I think he has to reach his target of probably 4 litres a day. Actually, he's probably bigger. He's a bigger man, so probably 5 litres a day. I reckon he'll smash that in the morning. He won't want to go too much over because he'll get too bloated. So I'm going to go 6 water bottles for Jason. My first try scorer is I'm going to go Dylan Brown. I see it coming. I see him switched on. He's due. I see him cutting through the lineup there. Step, try it. Perfect. I think we can shell shot Canberra. I don't know if I'm overconfident because we finally got a win, but I think we got the confidence we needed. I see Dylan Walker playing some pretty big minutes, especially being a lighter frame in the middle and a fit frame in the middle, opposed to a bigger body that will struggle in the heat conditions. So I'm going to go very bold. I'm going to go 38-4. Parramatta to win. Yep, I know. I'm going out there.
Love to hear it.
Love to hear it. My bold prediction, I'm going to do a little bit of a same game multi here, is Ricky to blame the travel, into Ricky to blame the heat, into Ricky to blame a referee. There we go.
It's paying about $1.04.
Sorry?
It's paying about $1.04.
100%. It's bold.
Yeah.
No, it's bold because we'll get fined these days. And, you can't say bad things about the refs. That made it come up a bit. But I'll put that. That was a joke. Don't write that down. Matt, you wrote that down, didn't you? My bold prediction is for all Parramatta's back 5 to score. Well, no, I can't do that because Brown. I'm going to say 4 of Parramatta's back 5 will score a try. There you go. Jason?
Yeah, look, first try scorer, Lomax. I just feel like there's going to be an easy try scored very early on, overlap type things, and he'll be on the wing. Then I think we win 26-16. I think we get close to hitting the 13 plus, but we don't quite get there yet, but we have a comfortable 10-point win. And I'm going to say my bold prediction is that Lomax scores all our points, tries and goals.
Jesus.
That's fucking bold.
That is bold.
Okay, Benny, we'll get yours next.
So I reckon...
One this week, please.
Hang on, Jason forgot about his bottle of water count.
Oh, yeah, Jason, your bottles of
Oh,
water.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, look, on that, I want to tweak it a bit because I think Riles is an athlete. So he needs his electrolytes.
You're going to give him Gatorade, and you're going to give him Gatorade.
He's going to have Gatorades. He's going to have 4 Gatorades.
I think it's
water.
Powerade. Powerade, anyway.
Powerade, Gatorade, whatever, electrolytes, hydrolyte, whatever it is. Red. He's going to have 4 reds, Gatorades, Powerades.
All right, he's going it. Benny?
I think Riles is a man of the people, so he sticks with water. Doesn't need any of that fancy electrolyte bullshit. And I reckon he just calmly sips 2 bottles of water through the whole game. But Ricky's a shoe-in to throw at least 4 or knock him off the table. I reckon we crack 30 points this week. I reckon we win 30-18. I reckon first try scorer is Addo Carr, and my bold prediction is that Addo Carr goes for at least 2 tries.
I'm guessing there's a little bit of a rumor going around that Zach Lomax is out for a few weeks. I'm guessing that's what Josh is saying. That's why you might want to.
I just got a rumor too sent to me as well about Zach.
I've got it a couple of times. Look, we obviously spoke to the Parramatta doctor after the game, and he said he just got stood on. I was worried about what's it called?
High
Frank
angle?
When he came out.
No, less Frank. He was hobbling along the sideline though when he finished the game, but I'm hearing this rumor. We haven't confirmed it, so I wasn't going to bring it up. We'll just kind of wait and see what happens. But there is a rumor that Lomax will be out for a few weeks, so let's just wait and see what happens. Yeah, if he is.
Jace getting excited up there, thinking Joash, it's his time.
Well, they got Bailey in
Never
the
know.
extended
Chuck him
squad.
on the wing, see what happens.
They got Bailey in the extended squad, so you think Bailey would come in if it is the case. Be a fucking huge loss the way he's played, but I didn't want to post it. Wait until the next couple of days brings and see if we get some confirmation if he's out or not. But anyway, we'll go to you, Matt. Oh, no, wait. We go to you last. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah. All right. I'm losing where I'm writing everything down.
I'm going to go water count first. I'm going to go 2 balls of water, but I also think he's a man of the people. So he'll have 1 blue Powerade, 1 yellow Gatorade. He won't touch them, but that'll be just for show, just for the fans. I'm going to go 32-14 that we win. Sean Russell, first try scorer, and bold prediction, every person on the left-hand side. So Brown, Lane, Russell, and Addo Carr all get over.
Yeah. Okay. I've just been
We'll just run right. Oh, no, I'm scared.
I don't know. Like Josh Randall, who just sent it through to me, and it says, thing from his Instagram, it says, be right back, fam, from 1 hour ago. So I don't know what that means, but yeah, I can't really see much going on there, but what he's talking about, maybe that's where the rumors go. I'll see what I can find out, and we'll give you an update tomorrow. All right, Troy.
30-20, Parramatta win. And Sean Lane will be the first try scorer.
Ooh.
And bold prediction will
That
be...
was bold.
Yeah, well, I know that, but hey, stranger things have happened. Because I was going to go Sean Russell, but that was taken. And look, it's getting a bit silly just going Will Penasini all the time. But look, we'll probably score it first now. I will say bold prediction. I will say Riley Smith will kick 40-20 and run for over 100 meters in the game.
Okay.
Because he'll play like Jeremy Marshall King did last year. Run around those tired forwards up the middle. He'll find some yardage. Anyway, Jason Riles, 9 water bottles. But I've got a sneaking suspicion he might coach from the sideline.
Ooh. Bold upon bold. He'll need 15.
Not from the BA balcony.
No, not from the BA balcony, because it's a new era at Parramatta. So I think he might be on the sideline in the shorts. So there might not be any water bottles inside.
Yeah. All right, Matt, give us yours and we'll get the draw on this winner for the $150 voucher.
All right. So I've got Riles doing 7 bottles of water.
Oh.
I've got Hopgood first try scorer. I think Dylan will make the break, but Hoppy will run through next to him. I've got Eels 22-14. And I've got both Dylan Walker and Riley to score tries.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Their first Eels tries.
All right, guys. $150 voucher, Parramatta Leagues Club. Once again, I'll say it. Does need to be used at Parramatta Leagues Club. 30 seconds for the winner to claim. Number 12. Don't anyone else read it out because you've fucked me in the past. All right, so...
I've got it for you go first, Adam.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. 8:24, Peter Turris. You got 30 seconds, mate. You got to 1:16:25. So 30 seconds to claim it, Peter. I know we've always got music ready to go, and funny enough, I've never got anything fucking decent. Well, I think all I've got on here is
when
jump.
The Eels are flying.
I do have the start of that.
Oh, he's here.
There we go, just in time.
How good's that? Peter is here. Peter.
Ooh, just ticked over 16:25.
No, he didn't. He got it in at 20. I saw it. Perfect.
That's what I'm saying.
Peter,
well done.
Message the page, message me, whatever you want to do. We'll obviously organise to get that $150 voucher for you as at Parramatta Leagues. Fucking perfect. Obviously, that resets at $50 next week, and we do it again. All right, get your final questions in. I don't know if anyone's sent any questions because all I've got is starred questions that say shared. But get your questions in
I
now.
did see one asking about my tattoo removal for my tattoo.
Yeah, I've seen it. And Scott Mengold's just offered to. He's got a mate to look after it for you. So I think that sounds like a fantastic idea.
I've been doing some deep dark thinking in my soul, and now that Dylan showed up and decided to play good footy, we will push the removal to the off season. I want to enjoy the little roller coaster that we have left.
Well, Adam and I can just get Scott to message you if you want.
Yeah, Scott, message Jack. Jack
Here we go.
Send him a message. We'll get it sorted out. All right, so we can get that happen. Maybe we'll set up for round 1 next year or something. You know, you never know who we could sign. We could get it changed. It could be perfect. So, look, how did Junior not get Dally M points? I don't really pay attention to this Dally M system. I think it's fucking stupid.
It's so dumb.
They give out way too many points. It's a lottery, right? It comes down to whose hair looks the best when they play for Cronulla, for example, who gets the most points. So
should be just 3-2-1.
I agree. A good old classic 3-2-1. You know, win, lose, or draw, whatever your team is. But shit, yep. There you go. Scott confirming he obviously won. We won the jersey last week, and he decided to change it for a polo. So awesome news. Is Moses coming back to the Tigers game? Look, the club's obviously put it for round 9. Whether there is a chance he'll play round 7, but if he does play round 7, I have to obviously wait and see round 8. We have the bye. So if we know Mitchell Moses like we think we know Mitchell Moses, there you go, Jack. Scott wants you to message him about that tattoo stuff. He'll sort it out for you. So you do that. All right. Moses, yeah, look, I think it's a massive chance. I think he'll want to play against the Tigers. We know that. So see that. Tip for after bye, as we said. I'm stressing about Lomax now. I think we all are. Watch this space. Hopefully we can have an update for you tomorrow and see what happens. Uncle George missed the mark on this one. I think everyone's seen this going around every group. There is no chance Parramatta have spoken to Ezra Mam. So I think they only...
But he doesn't know who it is, Uncle George. He didn't say who it was.
Yeah, I don't know what Uncle George has bet on, but Uncle George needs to... Yeah, he wasn't. It wasn't correct anyway. Look, they'll do. That's all we've got time for. Obviously, Jason, have a fucking wonderful time up in Darwin. Have a great time. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
So we can't do